Hello and welcome to OHDELA Orientation. We're going to go ahead and get started. If you have any questions, feel free to type them into the chat with the teacher box here. So if there's anything as we go along, you can type your questions into the chat with the teacher box right to the right of the screen. We are right now in Adobe Classroom, and this is where you or your students will be attending classes with their teacher. So this is what we call live class. So right here in our Adobe Classroom, this is where they can interact, the teacher will instruct, students can participate daily through the live class lessons. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, so keep an eye on the screen up there, and I will show you what our Blackboard looks like. Blackboard is the front door, essentially, to our school. So here you can see Blackboard, and this is our hub or our main page for OHDELA. So this is the front door where you can come in, see a lot of different things going on with OHDELA. So there are announcements and various things that you can go to. News and events tab is up at the top. This is where you can find exciting news, messages from our principal, Mr. Donatelli. You can also see different activities and things going on within OHDELA that you would like to take part in. At the very bottom, the last pod here includes downloads of the course description book, student calendar, and student handbook. So take a look at that. And you'll also see important dates throughout here. So news and events is a nice one. My School is where you're going to access all of your classes. So you can see the My Classes pod up in the top left corner, the report card pod here, Parents Corner if you're interested in getting involved, and various programs here, other announcements that may be up, classroom announcements, and then My Groups over here to the right is going to be an important pod to look at for orientation. This is where you'll walk through the orientation process here at OHDELA. So this is for all school, K-12, Student Orientation 2015-16. Under My Groups is where you'll click on. You'll see Welcome to Orientation. This looks much like the teacher's welcome pages, so it gives you a little peek as what the teacher's pages will look like as well. Once you're in there, you can click on Lessons on the left side. These are all the links. You'll see Delabot, our school mascot. You can click on OHDELA Orientation Lessons, and this is where you will walk through the OHDELA Orientation. So we're going to walk through it briefly right now. And then whenever you have some time today, we'd like you to walk through each of these components, watch the videos, go through the slides, really get a feel for what OHDELA is all about. And it may answer a lot of those questions you have right now as you're entering our school. The very first activity here is an OHDELA orientation video from Mr. Robert Fox. And you can navigate through orientation by clicking over here on the left on these links, or you can click over here on the arrows to continue through the 21 pages. This is an activity on how to use your Chromebook. You can click here to start the video. So once you click there, it'll open up a new video. This is really beneficial as your student will be using Chromebooks very often. Obviously, that's the book you have. That's what you'll be using day in and day out to complete lessons. So it gives you some useful pointers and tips on how to get started with that. If we go to the next page, this video tells you all about Google accounts and Google Drive. And since you are using the Google Chromebook, this also is very beneficial. You can watch and see how you're setting up, where to find your Drive, Google Drive. We do a lot of activities and assignments through Google and the different cool applications that they have available. So this is a really nice video to watch to make sure you're comfortable with that. Again, go through all of these and then ask your teacher, your classroom teacher, any questions after you walk through this orientation to say, hey, I watched this video, but I may have more questions about this specific component. If we continue on, you're going to see that the next video is about the hub and parent portal. So that's Blackboard as our hub. Where we are right now, you can see this up here when you see the green and all these tabs, you know that you're in Blackboard. Watch this video. It tells you about how parents have access to certain things, where to go to find paperwork or important information. Teacher home pages are also available. on each teacher course. So if in kindergarten through 5th grade, you might have reading and math, and on each of those pages, you'll see a home page with announcements, the schedule, grading scale, a lot of useful information on that very first home page to give you an idea of what's going on within your student's class. Okay. Communication and course mail. This is going to be an important one. Our email program through Blackboard is called Course Mail. So this is where you'll be able to send course mail to teachers. If you have anything that you need or questions about certain things, maybe something's not working properly, this is the best place to communicate with your teachers. You can send them a course mail and check course mail each day, even if you're not sending them, because teachers often send out whole class messages so that they can get information out quickly to their entire class. So you want to check that at least twice a day, once in the morning and the afternoon, to check for any important announcements that may be going on in class or that your teacher needs to let you know about. Okay. All right, next up is live class, self-directed learning, and live help. So live class, again, is where we are in Adobe. That's where we'll have interactive live lessons. Over here in Blackboard is self-directed learning. So the students go into their lessons, and that's their independent work, essentially. So they'll come over and do their independent after-class work as they're working through specific assignments. So we get some direct instruction in Adobe during live class, and then afterwards they do their independent work and guided work to ensure that they're understanding the concepts and skills. Pacing at the elementary school level, this is a quick video about how to stay on track, ensuring that you don't get too far behind with work, as you don't want your student to have to do too much catching up as you go through. There's a video at the middle school level as well as the high school level. And at high school, it gives you some important information about how many high school credits your student needs to complete and how to keep track of that throughout each semester in order to get it done on time. Next up is the role of the advising team. If you click right on here, it'll open up a Google slide for you. So this is a nice little sneak peek, if you're not used to Google applications, what Google Slides look like. Okay, so this is PowerPoint essentially in Google. So the role of the advising team, notice that this opens up in a tab up here. I can come right back to my orientation lessons over on this side to see what's going on. So I can come over here and back to this after I look through this slide. So if I want to go to the next slide, for elementary, Mrs. Jessica Geely is our K-5 elementary advisor, and you can see her extension there. She answers a lot of questions for our elementary parents and helps them out with things that maybe the teacher can't get to you right away on. There are various advisors in the middle school and high school level as well, so you can take a look at that information depending on what grade your child is in or you as a student, and what information you can go to. Mrs. Hafer is the senior guidance counselor, so she is a good number to have as well in case you have any things that you need to contact her about. Okay, so it goes on down to any concerns or anything else going on. It gives you some contact information that you can get a hold of. Okay. All right, so the role of the advising team. Now we can go on to high school graduation and grade level requirements. So here, this is for obviously high schoolers. You can walk through this PowerPoint and slide to take a look at what's going on. So you can go through there, walk through, see what that entails if you are a senior trying to graduate. Attendance and truancy is an important thing to watch. You can watch this video that explains it or click on this PowerPoint and Google slide again. We take attendance very seriously here at OHDELA. It's a 6-hour day, so it's important to remember how to stretch that out. It's flexible and you can work with the day, obviously, in this online school environment. But you also need to know that there are 6 hours within the day that work needs to be done. So the teachers do assign 6 hours worth of work. So you want to make sure that you have that time each day to complete all of the assignments and activities. If your student or yourself is absent unexcused for 18 consecutive school days, your student will be withdrawn for truancy. So you want to make sure that you contact our attendance coordinator, Jennifer Lawrence, to provide the proper excuse documentation if you were to be absent. Here's her information here. The attendance hotline number is 1-866-379-0543. And you can see here too that her email is down here, jmlawrence002@delastudent.com. You can also take a look at that and check it out if you have any questions. You can also pause this recording right now if you need to jot down any important information. All right, help desk. This is our tech support. So our technical support number is the 1-800 number, and then you press 1. You will get on the line with a technical support person, and they will help you out with whatever you have going on with your computer. So if something's not working properly with your computer and you know that the teacher or another advisor cannot help you out with something specific, you'll want to give the help desk a call right away to get a ticket number in. Once that ticket number is in, that ensures that they're working on that problem to resolve it as soon as possible. If you do not call and you're not attending classes due to a technical issue, that's not an excused absence. We have to see that ticket number to ensure that you are getting the issue resolved through tech. So we want to make sure that tech gets on it right away so that you or your child is not missing any school. Student calendar, again, you saw on the front of the hub. I showed you where you could download that. Here's another place you can walk through. It explains the student calendar. Here's another spot right here where you can download a PDF version of that as well. Same with the student handbook. It's an area where you can download the student handbook to find out rules and regulations and other background information about OHDELA. At OHDELA, we do district and state tests. Our school growth testing is our district test, and we use the MAPS testing program. So that is something that we conduct in the fall, winter, and spring to chart growth within our students. So it's important that students attend that from their computers in their Adobe Live classrooms with their teachers at specific times, and they'll let you know to chart their progress throughout the school year. So it allows us to see how we're doing teaching. Are the students picking up on everything? And it allows you as a parent or student to see, where am I? How is my child performing? So you can take a look at that video for more details on MAPS testing. State testing through Ohio Department of Education does occur throughout the year. So some high school students will be taking OGTs in the fall. Our third graders take a reading test in December. Our kindergartners take a test at the very beginning of the school year, or the KRA. And now at this point, we will be looking at spring testing. We have some OGTs occurring in March, and then we have our spring state testing for 3rd through 8th grade in April as well. Again, watch that video for details about which grades test and what you will have to do for testing. State testing does require travel, so you want to make sure that you're aware of that and prepared for traveling for state testing. Contact information, proof of residence, and income survey forms. These are important forms that you will fill out and return back to us here at OHDELA. Mrs. D. Day is the EMIS coordinator and takes care of all that. Watch this video to find out how to get in contact with her. You can see her contact information within this video and how to turn in those forms. Last up, we have internet reimbursement and the My Choice program. This is a wonderful program for you here at OHDELA. We provide internet reimbursement monthly, so you can get a hold of our reimbursement coordinator, Mrs. Batista, to figure out what's going on with that. Who do you send those forms in, receipts, or anything like that? You also will see that the My Choice account, each year that you're a student here at OHDELA, you get an increased amount within your account to spend on educational programs. So take a look at that, see what qualifies for the My Choice account. It's a really great program that you can use that money to spend on educational supplies and programs. Once you've walked through this whole orientation, I'd like you to take the quiz at the end. It's about 11 question quiz, and it'll just sort of let you know, and us, if you understood what was going on throughout this orientation. So if you have questions, you can ask the teacher, your classroom teacher, grade level teacher, or course teacher, and figure out what's going on within OHDELA. Okay, so if you have any other questions, feel free to contact us at any time. Our 1-800 number again from the help desk, you can call 1-800-493-8680. And if you know your teacher's extension, you can take a look at that as well. And I'll show you one more time how to get to that. My School is where you'll start with orientation. Over at My Classes is where you can find your teacher information. Once you click on any course, you'll see the teacher homepage and their information. In order to do the student orientation that we just saw, let me walk you through that one more time. You're under the My School tab up at the top. My Groups, go to Student Orientation 2015-16. Click on Lessons on the left side. Click on OHDELA Orientation Lessons title. And here we are. So you can walk through pages 1 through 21, really getting some great background information about OHDELA. Thanks so much for hanging out with